Hello everyone, I am Horriyatun Sofiana Jalilah with NIM 23410106003. Here I will explain the approach to research. Clarifying an approach doesn't mean that once an approach has been chosen, it is not possible to switch to another method. Each approach has its own strengths and weakness depending on the context. The first approach is action research. Action research is applied research conducted by an expert in identifying the need for change or improvement of support within or outside the institution. Because action research activities inevitably affect other people, there needs to be a clear, personal, and pure idea. Furthermore, the case study approach is used to be followed up and reinforce the result of the survey. Evidence needs to be collected systematically between variables and investigation planned methodologically. The next approach is survey. Surveys are conducted based on the need for administrative facts regarding several aspects of public life, investigating cause and effect relationship, or providing new insight into aspects of sociological theory. Survey also aim to obtain information from a representative sample of the population, which is then presented to represent the population as a whole. And then the next approach is experimental style. Experimental style, it is relatively easy to plan experiments related to measuring observable phenomena. Thus, experiments allow conclusions to be drawn about cause and effect. The most important point is the need for ethics related to experimental research. And then everyone must be fully informed about what is involved. And then the next approach is ethnography and ethnographic research style. Ethnographic research seeks to develop an understanding of how a culture works. The focus is on participant observation of a society or culture through the complex cycle that occurs in a society in communicating with its environment. So the next is the ground theory approach. The ground theory approach, the methodological impetus of the ground theory approach to qualitative data analysis is toward theory development. Without a specific commitment to a particular type of data, research path, or theoretical interest. The grounded theory research process is described as iterative, meaning the theoretical insights emerged from the data are then tested to see how they can explain other parts of the data, generate new theoretical insight, and are tested against the data again, and so on. Narrative investigation of story. And the next approach. Narrative investigation may involve reflective autobiography, life story, or the inclusion of quotes from participant stories to illustrate a theme developed by the researcher. Data collection for narrative research requires the researcher to allow the storyteller to structure the conversation. with the researcher asking follow-up questions. So clarifying an approach as ethnographic, qualitative, experimental, or whatever it may be doesn't mean that the chosen approach cannot shift from its usual method to that style. But first, it is necessary to understand and advantage and the disadvantage of each approach that may help with the task at hand. So I think that's enough for my explanation. Bye.